The Galactic Council had convened for 3 standard cycles, their holographic forms flickering in the vast chamber that orbited the neutral zone between the Andromeda and Milky Way galaxies. Representatives from 47 species debated the same impossible problem that had plagued civilizations for millennia: the Great Void. Zektar, the 8-armed cephalopod ambassador, gestured with frustration at the tactical display. The dark matter storm spans 12 parsecs. Nothing survives passage, not our strongest hulls, not our most advanced shielding. The quantum disruption tears apart molecular bonds at the subatomic level. Nods of agreement rippled through the assembly. The crystalline hive mind chimed their harmonic concurrence. The gaseous nebulons pulsed in sympathetic colors. For 10,000 years, the Great Void had remained an impenetrable barrier, splitting the galaxy's eastern and western territories into isolated regions. Perhaps, wheezed ancient Mordoon of the silicon-based builders, his rocky form crackling with age, we should finally accept that some barriers are meant to remain unbroken. Our ancestors tried. We have tried. The mathematics are absolute. Passage equals annihilation. A new voice cut through the chamber's resigned atmosphere. Excuse me, but has anyone actually asked the humans about this? Every sensor, optical organ, and consciousness field turned toward the speaker. Ambassador Sarah, Chen stood at barely 2 meters tall, diminutive compared to most species present, her simple blue uniform a stark contrast to the elaborate environmental suits and energy manifestations surrounding her. Zektar's tentacles writhed in what humans had learned to recognize as amusement. The humans? Your species has been part of the Council for less than 50 standard cycles. Your technology is quaint. Chemical rockets, crude fusion drives, primitive AI that still requires biological oversight. Sarah's smile was the kind that made veteran diplomats nervous. That's true. We're definitely the new kids in the neighborhood. But we've been watching this debate for 3 days and we're curious. When you say impossible, do you mean actually impossible or just really, really hard? The chamber erupted in a cacophony of translated protests. The very question was offensive to species who had spent millennia perfecting their understanding of physical limitations. The quantum mathematics are irrefutable, screeched the avian collective. Dark matter concentration at that density creates cascading reality failures. We've modeled every conceivable approach, added the mechanical precision. Their robotic voices synchronized perfectly. Force fields collapse. Matter transmission fails. Even consciousness transfer becomes impossible through such distortion. Sarah nodded thoughtfully, pulling out what appeared to be an archaic data tablet. Right, so you've tried going through it, around it, under it, over it, and teleporting past it. Very thorough. She paused, stylus hovering over her screen. But has anyone tried building through it? The silence that followed was the kind that made historians mark moments as before and after. Ancient Morden's mineral voice ground like shifting mountains. Building through. What are you suggesting, human? Well, Sarah said, her casual tone belying the revolutionary concept she was about to unleash. Back on Earth, when we couldn't cross water, we built bridges. When we couldn't cross canyons, we built bridges. When we couldn't cross space. Okay, we built ships for that one, but the principle stands. You've all been thinking about this as a transportation problem. What if it's actually a construction problem? The holographic displays around the chamber began flickering as various species simultaneously started running calculations. The quantum calculators, beings of pure mathematical consciousness, actually stuttered in their processes. The energy requirements would be astronomical, protested the energy weavers. The materials needed would strip mine entire systems. The structural integrity alone began the builder cast of 3 different species before falling silent as their simulations crashed. Sarah was still scribbling on her tablet. Oh, we'd need to be clever about it. Can't just stretch metal across 12 parsecs, that's obviously stupid. But what if we didn't fight the dark matter storm? What if we used it? She gestured, and her tablet's projection filled the chamber's central display. The assembled aliens stared at what could only be described as an engineering impossibility. A dynamic structure that rode the quantum fluctuations like a suspension bridge rides wind, using the dark matter's own chaotic energy to maintain cohesion. The storm's unpredictable, she continued. But unpredictable doesn't mean random. There are patterns, cycles, feedback loops. We surf those patterns instead of fighting them. Build the bridge out of the storm itself, stabilized by quantum anchor points every half parsec. Zektar's translator struggled with his response. This violates 17 fundamental laws of engineering. 18, corrected Sarah cheerfully. But only if you assume the bridge has to be solid. Ours would be about 60% empty space, held together by controlled quantum entanglement and a really long extension cord back to our nearest fusion reactor. The debate that followed lasted another 6 hours. Equations flew through the chamber like artillery shells. 3 different species computers achieved brief sentience just trying to model Sarah's proposal before surrendering and requesting memory wipes. Finally, Ancient Morden spoke into the exhausted silence. Human Chen, your species has been part of this council for 47 cycles. In that time, you have suggested solutions to 16 problems we considered unsolvable. 15 of those solutions worked. The 16th started a minor trade war, but even that turned profitable eventually. He paused, his rocky form seeming to settle deeper into itself. How long would this bridge of yours take to build? Sarah checked her tablet again, making a few quick calculations. Well, we'd need to coordinate with about 40 construction crews, fabricate maybe 50,000 quantum anchor units, and run some truly ridiculous amounts of power cable. She looked up. 18 hours. 20 if we stop for lunch. The chamber fell silent except for the hum of life support systems working overtime to accommodate 47 different atmospheric requirements. 18 hours, repeated Zektar slowly. Give or take. Oh, and we'd need to borrow some heavy equipment. Our stuff's great for precision work, but for the initial framework we'd need something with more lifting capacity. Do any of you have planetary construction mechs we could use? We'll bring them back with full fuel tanks. Ancient Mordun's laughter sounded like an avalanche having a good time. Human Chen, on behalf of the Galactic Council, you have our complete authorization to proceed. Also our complete disbelief, but mostly our authorization. 19 hours and 37 minutes later, the first ship crossed the Great Void via humanity's newest contribution to galactic infrastructure. A bridge made of tamed quantum storm, stabilized dark matter, and what the engineering reports would later describe as aggressive optimism. The crossing took 14 minutes. The humans charged a very reasonable toll,